Breaking news, we now know why Illinois Governor Rod Blagojevich has conducted 20 interviews over the past few days. It's a warm-up act for his impeachment trial, the very trial he said he would not attend so he could do all the interviews. In our third story in the countdown, the governor has now made a request to speak tomorrow at what will likely be the final day of those impeachment proceedings. The Democratic president of the Illinois Senate announced the request this afternoon. The governor's spokesman, Lucio Guerrero, saying, quote, he wants to make a closing argument. The governor will speak for an hour to an hour and a half, reportedly before the prosecutor's closing arguments, and the governor will offer no testimony and take no questions. Mr. Blagojevich's spokesperson said he was not certain why the governor had chosen to make an appearance after consistently denouncing the impeachment process itself. Why did he do this? Maybe he sold the film rights. Until that final pitch before those state senators who act as both judge and jury, we have only the governor in his own words.
There was a cowboy who was charged with stealing a horse in town, and some of the other cowboys, especially the guy whose horse was stolen, were very unhappy with that guy. One of the cowboys said, let's hang him. Then the other cowboy said, hold on, before we hang him, let's first give him a fair trial. Then we'll hang him.
I say we let him go.
Will reflect that the governor has failed to appear or to answer the article of impeachment.
Governor Blagojevich remains defiant.
Governor Rod Blagojevich. Governor Blagojevich, good morning.
Illinois Governor Rod Blagojevich.
As I'm in California, I will talk to you first. Thank you for being here. It's nice of you to take the time.
Governor, open the window. Open the window.
Springfield, Illinois. Hello.
Are you asking me this now? Am I on TV?
Yes.
Yeah. No, I said I'm not resigning. You're funny.
There's been discussions of TV movies, of stuff that's being made. Who would play you? Who would you want to play you?
Oh, is that right? Have there been?
Yes, there have been some discussions. I mean, would you?
I wouldn't mind playing myself. I could probably use the job.
The most cynical behavior in all this, the most appalling, is the fact that Governor Blagojevich tried to sell the appointment to the Senate seat.
I've got this thing, and it's bleeping golden. Hold up that Cubs them.
You and your wife are potty mouths.
F him. For nothing, F him.
I was raised in a big city in a tough neighborhood. We had gangs in the neighborhood I grew up in. And I'll point out when some of that language was used, there were no women on the phone. If that was said, that's subject to many interpretations.
You can't tell me what the two words bleeping golden meant.
Them. Put that in context for me.
Well, again, that could be interpreted in a whole variety of ways.
What could be kosher to exchange for a Senate seat?
How about helping us pass health care and a jobs bill? And I am, in many ways, the anti-Richard Nixon. I consider myself the anti-Nixon. I'm the opposite of Richard Nixon, who was always trying to protect his tapes.
Wait a minute, he does a fabulous Nixon impression. Do it for us.
Who said that?
Somebody told me. Come on.
Well,
Just say I am not a crook. Do it.
I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say that. This is like an old Frank Capra movie, whether it's Jimmy Stewart or Gary Cooper. I see myself that way. In those movies, Mr. Smith Goes to Washington.
I'll tell you what I want, sir. I want a chance to talk to people who believe me.
And I view myself as Jimmy Stewart or Gary Cooper, and I know that's going to be, met with mockery.
Let him speak!
But that's how I see it.
No, I think the fix is in.
The fix is in. The fix is in. The fix is in. I think the fix is in. Fix is in the state Senate. The fix is in. I believe the fix is in, and because the fix is in.
Who were you thinking of for Senate?
Do you have any suggestions on who I might have been thinking about? What have you heard?
I've heard Oprah.
That is true. Oprah was one of the many people we thought about. Oprah Winfrey, for example. And the question is, how do you suggest something like that so it doesn't look like it's just a gimmick to get cheap publicity at her expense?
I think I could be senator, too. I'm just not interested.
That wasn't my idea.
I've said cuckoo once. I'll say it again. Cuckoo.
The silence of political allies who, the day before all this came down, which we call our personal Pearl Harbor Day, and I had a whole bunch of thoughts. Of course, my children and my wife, and then I thought about Mandela, Dr. King, Gandhi, and they knew what it was like to be in custody. I'm not the first person this has happened to. All you got to do is read the Bible, and parts of the Bible are filled with stories like this. In terms of what we tell our kids, it's a very difficult time for our family. And our little girls, my wife and I, we got them a little puppy during the Christmas holidays. Yeah, I think everybody should do what they think is right. And anybody who wants to say anything nice about me, that'd be kind of nice, because there hasn't been a lot said that's been nice.
I'll buy you dinner.
Is that ethical? There's an old gospel song, "One Day at a Time, Sweet Jesus." When you're something like this, you take one day at a time. And I have this delusion, which I know is a delusion, that I'll wake up sometime, like tomorrow morning, and then maybe they'll realize there's just one big misunderstanding here. That's likely not to happen.
The governor added, Soylent Green is people.